Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Kim.
And I'm Brandon.
And we are back talking about From Brick to Hip, the history of mobile phones, and this is part 2. So the last time we left off, it was 1992.
Yes.
We're gonna hop in our time machine and we're gonna go forward a little bit into the future.
The year 2000. Wow.
That's good.
2000 to 2004. In 2000, Sharp launched a camera phone and Samsung had a model with an early touchscreen. The computer-like BlackBerry 6210 had a full-size keyboard and came out in 2003. By 2004, consumers had already started to value form as well as function. The slim Motorola Razr came in several colors and was marketed as a fashion phone. 2007. Apple released the first iPhone in 2007. The special gestures that operated the iPhone's touchscreen helped make cell phones more user-friendly. In addition, the iPhone's iconic design cemented cell phone status as a cool fashion accessory.
The year 2000.
It sounds very futuristic.
Futuristic for you and me, but maybe it sounds like ancient history to the kids watching these days.
It was already 21 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm getting old. Well, 2000 to 2004. In 2000, Sharp launched a camera phone, and Samsung had a model with an early touch screen. The computer-like BlackBerry 6210 had a full-size keyboard, and it came out in 2003.
I'm surprised that a phone back then had a touch screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we think touch screens are so common these days. Everything is touch screen.
Yeah.
Your computer, your phone,
I thought
everything.
iPhone was the first touchscreen, but
So did I,
guess
but
this
apparently there's
they-
another one.
Yeah, they had a touchscreen before that. But what's even more surprising is one of them had a full keyboard.
Yeah, can you imagine?
How can you type? You have to have really tiny hands or a really huge keyboard.
Yes, I think it was really hard on the thumbs.
Yeah, I would probably make mistakes a lot if it's a real touch keyboard.
Yeah, if it had a real keyboard, that's pretty impressive. A keyboard is the part of a computer with keys and letters. Very simple. It's the part that you type on. This big board that has all the numbers, letters on it is your keyboard. And don't forget the space bar. Hit it with your thumbs.
And they put that on a small phone.
They put it on a small phone, believe it or not. I think the letters are like this big. It's not very easy. So for example, Katie looked at the screen as she typed on the keyboard. They used to teach typing in school.
I remember.
In middle school, junior high school, they used to teach typing and you had to cover your hands and type. You can't look.
Yeah,
They really wanted you not to look.
I was one of the first classes to start typing on computers, and we had these computer classes.
But
to
now
type.
these days, everybody knows how to type. I'm sure some students have been typing since they were very young, maybe even toddler age.
And they were probably young in 2004 if they're watching this video.
I would imagine.
By 2004, consumers had already started to value form as well as function. The slim Motorola Razr came in several colors and was marketed as a fashion phone.
Yeah, we don't think about phones like they weren't very cool back then, so they wanted some way to make them cooler.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting from brick phones that looked like nothing special, and trying to make them look cool.
And the Razr did look pretty cool. It had a lot of different colors and you could change the ringtone, the music you hear when someone calls you.
It was
cool.
super thin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very different from what they had before that.
Yeah, now we have 2007, a very big year for phones. Apple released the first iPhone in 2007. The special gestures that operated the iPhone's touchscreen helped make cell phones more user-friendly. In addition, the iPhone's iconic design cemented cell phone status as a cool fashion accessory.
Oof, yes, and that's what hit the market big. iPhone. From then even to now, iPhones basically are the king of phones.
Yeah, I know people will stand in line for hours and hours just to get an iPhone, and they're still pretty expensive, but it's fashion, baby.
Yeah. Do you have an iPhone?
I don't. Do you?
I do have an iPhone. I've been using iPhones for a long time, actually.
Since 2007?
Not quite, but maybe 2013 or no, 2008 or 9. I've been using iPhones.
Well, there's a reason they stick around, because they're easy to use and they're quite fashionable, as most phones are these days. A lot of phones look the same. It's just all smartphones and that's it.
Basically. Well, and on these smartphones, you use gestures on the phone. There's different gestures. Those are movements you can do with your hands generally, or your body. For example, that gesture is rude in my culture.
Ooh.
You can do things with your hands that look offensive or not so nice. Those are gestures. But you can gesture lots of things, like this means tall or a lot.
Or even hello is a gesture.
That's a kind of gesture, yeah, exactly.
That's right. Now, these gestures, I think some of them are swiping and maybe waving on the phone. They can be used to operate the phone. This is to use in a specific way to make it work. So you can operate the phone by waving your hand or moving it up and down, or what are some other ones? Do you know any?
Well, when
I'm
you're
not sure.
Well, I know here in Taiwan, when you are writing, like the letters, some people use the character gesture.
Oh, yeah.
right?
You can write on your phone and make these gestures to create the letters or characters.
And that's how they operate the characters. They can make a text message or an email with these gestures to operate the phone.
That's right. And for our example, Joe can operate the machine if you need him to. So sometimes you need special knowledge to operate something. And so to do this type of machine, Joe needs to know how to operate it. He needs to know what to do, maybe what button to push or what lever to pull to make it work.
Yeah. Well, that's it for those years. So let's take a break.
Okay.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hualien。前一天的课文介绍到了1992年，那我们接着把时间往前推到2000年到2004年。老师们聊到这个时期啊，听起来比较有未来感，可是这是对他们而言啦。同学们跟我也许会觉得2000年已经是很久以前的年代了。好，补充一下。Futuristic 这个字呢，就是在 future 后面的字尾 e 去掉，再加上 istic。Futuristic 可以形容是未来的、未来感的，或者是非常新潮的。那课文写到说，在2000年，夏普推出了照相手机，然后三星推出一款具备有早期触控萤幕的机型，然后在2003年，黑莓机6210上市了。黑莓机的特色当然就是它的键盘咯。那么到2004年，消费者还开始重视手机的外形和功能，于是 Motorola 就推出了轻薄又很多颜色可以选的时尚手机。Kim 老师提到，你还可以自己换手机铃声诶，那我们补充一下 ，ringtone ringtone 就是指手机铃声，而单字 keyboard 表示键盘。接着在2007年，苹果推出了第一支 iPhone， 它让使用者呢可以用特殊手势来操作这个触控萤幕，让手机更方便使用了。而且它的设计也巩固了手机作为时尚流行配件的地位。我们来看两个单字 gesture 就是手势、示意动作，像我跟你说 hello， 这就是一个手势咯。好，那么再来看 operate 这个动词，它表示操作、控制或是运转的意思。我们在操作机器时呢，必须了解每个按钮或是控制杆的这个功能。Kim 老师这时候用到 lever 这个字 ，lever lever 或是 lever， 它表示控制杆。这个段落有3个文法重点，那我们就进入文法时间。我们又见面了，我是文法界的女神 Fanny。我们来看今天文法重点。第一个是介系词 by， 它表示在某个时间点之前，或是到什么的时候，不会晚于某个时间点。好，那这个主要子句呢，可以用简单式或是完成式来强调这个动作已经完成了。像你可以说 He aims to complete 3 marathons by the end of this year。他打算在今年年底之前完成3场马拉松赛事。好，第二个重点是 start 当动词后面可以接不定词 to be 或者是动名词 VING， 两个意思是相同的哦，都可以用来表达开始做某事。例如 Let's start drawing， 你也可以说 Let's start to draw， 我们开始画画吧。好，第三个重点是 as well as， 它当连接词可以表达和以及，那么记得要连接词性相同的字词哦。举例来说 ，He is good at baseball as well as basketball。他擅长棒球以及篮球。那要特别注意哦 ，as well as 连接主词的时候，我们的动词要搭配它前方的名词，像是 Nina as well as her husband and children is coming to the party。妮娜跟她的老公和小孩们跟孩子们会来参加派对。虽然听起来好多人要来哦，可是这个句子在强调 as well as 前面的主词 Nina 是用单数来看哦，所以 be 动词用 is。好，那我们待会再继续来回头讲文法哦，我们待会见。
2008 to present. In 2008, Apple launched the App Store as well as the iPhone 3G. Over the next decade, data became more and more important. Download speeds and screen sizes increased to support high-resolution video streaming and mobile games. In 2011, voice assistants started being included on phones. Cell phones had become central to modern life. Advances in technology have made the brick phones of the 1970s a distant memory. If the future of mobile phones is anything like the past, there's no telling what's next.
And we are back, and you are still on the phone.
Mom, I told you to call me on my new phone. It's the new mobile phone. Bye, Mom.
You got a new phone?
Yeah, I upgraded finally to the smartphones.
Very nice. It looks like that came out recently.
It did, kind of. 2008 to the present.
That's right, and we're going to find out right now about 2008 to present. In 2008, Apple launched the App Store as well as the iPhone 3G. Over the next decade, data became more and more important.
That's a long time ago. So it was for a decade. A decade, that's a number of years. That's exactly 10 years. For example, my friend moved to America a decade ago. A decade? What were you doing a decade ago?
A decade ago was 2011. I don't know what I was doing because I have forgotten. That is forever ago.
I was going back to school in 2011. A decade ago, I was back in school.
And back then, I think mostly we didn't use our phones for games and things like that as much as we do these days.
No.
There was no line. There was nothing like that. We were mostly text messaging, so we didn't need this data, which is the 3G, 4G that we have today.
Yeah, it was really unnecessary. I would only message my friends with text and calling, and that's basically all I did with my phone.
If you wanted to use the internet, you had to get on the computer.
Or I'd use a game on the phone, the snake game.
Oh yeah, it has to eat the little apples or whatever.
But you don't need internet for that.
No, and phones actually back then did not have internet, believe it or not.
Not at all.
Well, what else is different? Download speeds and screen sizes increased to support high-resolution video streaming and mobile games.
Ooh, so they got better and better, and so people could play more games like Pokemon?
Yes, Pokemon, and people were also interested in streaming because YouTube, which I believe started in 2005.
Yeah, before that.
So YouTube was becoming very popular these days as well. So at this time, people wanted their phone to also watch videos.
Yeah. So in 2011, voice assistants started being included on phones. Cell phones had become central to modern life. And I know that's true about my life as well. If I don't have my phone, I might not know what I'm doing for work or where I'm going or who I'm going with.
Yeah, a lot of people keep their calendars and their schedules on their phones, and they have to look at it to know, what am I doing Monday? What am I doing this weekend? You know, how can I contact my friend?
Yeah. I know people who don't have a computer at all because they rely on their phone 100%.
Yeah, that's becoming more common too. Now these phones, we say, has assistants on them. An assistant is a person whose job it is to help or assist someone. When you're talking about phones, this is something like Siri. on the iPhone,
yes.
or Alexa from Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, that you have to talk to this machine, robot, and they will help you find things or put something on your schedule or make notes for you, things like that. We can also have assistants in real life, so not just Siri, but you can have an assistant working for you. For example, Jonah is Caroline's personal assistant. Some people have an assistant if they have a very high-level, important job, like a CEO.
I wish I was important enough to have a personal assistant.
Me too.
They could do all the work I don't want to do.
They can take everything out here and just organize it.
Do you use Siri or any of those?
I actually don't like to use personal assistants. I still like to write things down. I find that helps me. Do you use yours?
I never use the personal assistant. It might be because the technology isn't quite perfect yet.
True.
Maybe they're still working on it, but it's just not for me. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, if it only came out in 2011, I imagine it still needs some work.
Yeah. Well, advances in technology have made the brick phones of the 1970s a distant memory. If the future of mobile phones is anything like the past, there's no telling what's next.
I would agree with that. Cell phones developed so quickly. They went from the brick phone in the 90s and 2000s, and just 20, 30 years, now we have smartphones. Really amazing.
Yeah. Imagine another 30 years from now, I think maybe we'll have phones in our brains.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It sounds creepy, but it probably will happen. I don't know. Do you want a phone in your brain?
No, thank you. Brandon, what do you think? What is the most important feature of a cell phone, or of your cell phone in particular?
Oh, boy. The most important feature of my cell phone is the data. I really have to use the internet a lot. I do emails, I use Line to talk to people. If I don't have the internet, I can't do that. And I can't play Pokemon Go.
True. I also think the most important feature is the internet, because everything we do now is online.
Well, and
everything.
You can call people with the data.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually need to have the phone part of it to call anymore, because they have these kind of digital phones.
That's very true.
You know, what about you? What's your favorite part?
I also like the data, and I like all the apps. There's so much variety.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can go on the App Store and you can find an app for everything.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do.
You don't need a personal assistant. You can get those life organizing apps, and there's all sorts of things.
That's right. Yeah, they're really cool these days. Well, thank you for joining us, and that's it for us about the history of mobile phones.
Yeah, very interesting.
We will see you next time.
See ya.
十几20年前，人们在用手机的时候不需要网络，大家用手机只是为了打电话啊、传讯息，顶多在玩个贪食蛇游戏。那么现在大家的手机都升级成智慧型手机，数据就变得越来越重要咯。像消费者要追剧、要玩游戏，就必须考量一下它的下载速度还有萤幕尺寸了。Brandon 老师刚刚用的 upgrade 这个字 ，upgrade 这个动词可以表达使什么来升级、改良、提升的意思。还有用到 unnecessary， 在 necessary 前面加上否定字首 un， 可以构成这个形容词，表示不需要的、不必要的。那课文接着写到，在2011年，手机开始有了语音助理，那么手机就成了现代生活的重心了。大家少了手机，好像就没办法生活了。不晓得10年、20年后呢，手机会不会又有什么重大突破？这真的很难预料。我们最后来看2个单字 ，decade 就是10年。那么 assistant 它表示助理、助手，我们可以用 voice assistant 来表达语音助理。那这段落呢有2个文法重点，我们就进入文法时间。我们又见面了，我们继续来看文法重点。第一个是 anything like somebody or something， 它是表达说像什么、跟什么完全一样，常常用在否定句里面。例如 ，She doesn't look anything like her sister， 她看起来跟她姐姐一点都不像。好，那么来看第2重点是 there's no telling， 这是说难以预料，什么什么是无从得知的。那我们在这个 there's no telling 后面常常会接 WH 疑问词或是 if 或是 whether 来引导的名词子句。举例来说 ，There's no telling how his parents will react to the news， 难以预料他爸妈对这个消息会有什么反应，他们的反应无从得知。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学们要多多复习哦。那我们下次见了，拜拜。
2000 to 2004. In 2000, Sharp launched a camera phone and Samsung had a model with an early touchscreen. The computer-like BlackBerry 6210 had a full-size keyboard and came out in 2003. By 2004, consumers had already started to value form as well as function. The slim Motorola Razr came in several colors and was marketed as a fashion phone. 2007. Apple released the first iPhone in 2007. The special gestures that operated the iPhone's touchscreen helped make cell phones more user-friendly. In addition, the iPhone's iconic design cemented cell phone status as a cool fashion accessory. 2008 to present. In 2008, Apple launched the App Store as well as the iPhone 3G. Over the next decade, data became more and more important. Download speeds and screen sizes increased to support high-resolution video streaming and mobile games. In 2011, voice assistants started being included on phones. Cell phones had become central to modern life. Advances in technology have made the brick phones of the 1970s a distant memory. If the future of mobile phones is anything like the past, there's no telling what's next.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Rong.
And I'm Anna.
And right now we're in eastern Taiwan in a city called Hualien. Anna, do you know what Hualien is most famous for?
Well, I've noticed the scenery here is absolutely gorgeous.
That is true. It's also famous for its baked goods.
I didn't know that.
Well, actually, it's new news to me as well. But as you can see right behind us, this is a bakery that's owned by a man named Mr. Liou. He's been baking since he was 13 years old. And he used to have a baking cart, and the business was so good that he has his own store now.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Oh, and also to mention, he's won awards for his pastries.
No way.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So are you interested in trying out some of those baked goods?
Of course I am.
All right, let's go. Mr. Liu's bakery has won various awards and trophies for his world-famous baked goods. Now, this is one of their signature items. It's called the linden cake, also known as the pu tea pastry.
These are delicious. What are they made of?
Okay, they have soybean paste, pineapple juice, and also purple yam. So it's super healthy, and it's vegetarian and perfect for afternoon tea.
It tastes amazing.
And there's also 3 different flavors that they have available. They have green tea, original, and also taro.
I think I have the original one.
So I want to take a taste of that as well.
So good. So sweet.
The soybean paste in the middle is almost like mochi. So when you bite into it, it's very chewy, but the outside skin is very flaky and it's not too sweet. So it's really perfect with tea.
Oh my god.
Oh, look over there.
Oh, I've seen this fruit before. It's red dragon fruit, right?
Yes,
Also known as pitaya.
exactly. Red dragon fruit is grown here locally in Hualien. So they have a red dragon fruit cake. Since it's grown here locally, you know that it's gonna be made every day and it's fresh. They have fresh made baked goods come in every single day. And it's because they're always bustling in here, it's always busy.
This can be a really nice gift.
Definitely. This is also a very popular item here. Let me ask you a question. What does this remind you of?
A construction material or a brick or something?
It's a good guess. It's actually meant to look like a piece of driftwood, hence the name driftwood cookie.
I see the resemblance now.
It's actually a big slice of toast and it's smothered in butter.
Oh, sounds awesome. Can I try?
Yes, and there's 4 different flavors they have available. There's original, coffee, and there's black pepper, and can you guess the one you just had?
Garlic?
Exactly. It's very obvious because the flavors are very strong, but
Which one did you have?
also very crunchy. And once you put it in your mouth, after a few seconds, it starts to melt in your mouth. That one I just had was coffee, and it tastes so good.
I'm definitely getting one of those.
I'm probably gonna get all 4. Look, Anna,
There's more?
it's Mr. Liu himself. And this item in my hands is the most popular item since its invention in 2011.
What is this?
This is called the Butter Bread Crisp. And online, people buy it in bulk.
Is it sweet?
You know, I'm not too sure, but you know what the best way to find out is?
What?
Is to buy it in bulk. Let's do it.
These definitely are must-buy souvenirs from Hualien. We're having a tea party tonight.
I'm gonna get all these. Oh, make sure to get the red dragon fruit cake. When you visit Hualien, make sure to stop by Mr. Liu's award-winning bakery. Everything here is a must-buy. And as you can see with Anna, you'll never leave here empty-handed.
See you next time!